This is the Southern Middle Tennessee High School Football Show with your hosts Maurice, Patton, and Wade Neely. Proudly presented each week by our friends at the Tennessee Highway Safety Office. Fans, don't let fans drive drunk.
Hey, welcome into the Southern Middle Tennessee High School Football Show presented by the Tennessee Highway Safety Office. Fans don't let fans drive drunk, and by 10 Pin Alley, Eat, Play, Party. That's Wade Neely. I'm Maurice Patton. This is the final installment of the Southern Middle Tennessee High School Football Show. We have made it through the 2024 high school football season.
From start to finish, baby.
And we're still here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and we didn't kill anybody.
Didn't kill anybody. Got to cover a lot of good games. Got to see a lot of good teams, and some of which made it all the way to the BlueCross Bowl last week. It was a fun season from top to bottom in our area.
It really was. It was fun. You know, we had some successful teams to cover. We had some teams that had their struggles, but that kind of comes with it. So, BlueCross Bowl wrapped up Thursday, Friday, Saturday down in Chattanooga. And as you mentioned, we saw some great football all year, and it was capped off with some great football down in Chattanooga. Thursday's Division II contests opened with a couple of kind of local Middle Tennessee, but not Southern Middle Tennessee teams, as Christ Presbyterian Academy and Battleground Academy faced off for the D2AA championship. And again, you saw the initial installment of this matchup back during the regular season. Christ Presbyterian got the Wildcats yet again, 38-26 in that lid lifter championship game on Thursday morning. Big win for the Lions as they continue to be a dominant force in Division II. That game was followed by a game sort of near and dear to our hearts here in Southern Middle Tennessee. Again, Nashville Christian and Columbia Academy took the field for the Division IIA championship game. That was also a rematch from the regular season. It also went the same way as the initial meeting, with the Eagles picking up a 49-21 victory over the Bulldogs. We'll talk a little bit more about that later in the show. In the nightcap on Thursday, Division II AAA, man, what a comeback. McCallie trailing 21-0 in the third quarter, comes back, scores 27 unanswered to stun previously unbeaten Baylor 27-21. Baylor won this matchup 44-12 during the regular season. So when I say stun, like a sledgehammer to the forehead stun.
That's as tough as it gets, man.
Yeah,
you lose to your rival, you're up 21-0.
You're up 21-0. You won 44-12 the first time around. You're thinking, we just got to, run clock run. Well, McCallie said, not so fast, my friend. Yeah. Big win for the Blue Tornado over the Red Raiders.
That is a massive win. And like you said, you're thinking, go clock, go. Let's get out of here. Let's go ahead and let's go ahead and call our jeweler up. Get the rings ready. And McCallie, heart of a champion, battling back, facing all the adversity, getting the win versus their rival.
Absolutely. Friday's matchups began with what has become a tradition, an Alcoa State Championship, as the Tornadoes defeated again previously undefeated Westview 40-21. Alcoa with the victory in Class 3A. And what did we say when we were discussing this? Alcoa is 23-2 in state championship games historically.
I believe it's 23-2, and their record all time in the postseason is something like 150-15. They have absolutely 140-15. Excuse me.
Yep.
Yeah, and 23-2. In state championship games. They had to settle for the gold ball in 88 and 2014, but they have been it is a state championship game, but it's basically turned into a coronation ceremony every year, the 3A title game.
The Alcoa Invitational.
Absolutely. And there have been many great foes. We've seen East Nashville give a crack at them a couple of times in a row. Westview, a really good team over in West Tennessee, tried to do their best but it wasn't good enough. Alcoa continues to be the class of 3A.
Well, they will no longer be the class of 3A.
Hallelujah is what all the 3A coaches are saying right now.
Alcoa will be playing in 4A next year. In fact, in the final segment of the show, we will go through some new region alignments here locally. So stick around for that if you're not familiar with those. The second game of Friday's BlueCross Bowl menu, Mace, Memphis Academy of Science and Engineering, with their first BlueCross Bowl state championship, defeating perennial state title contender South Pittsburgh 36-14.
Yeah, big win for Mace, who kind of announces their presence with authority. They had already knocked off McKenzie to get there, and they were fantastic. As Chris Watson was your MVP of that game, he had 3 touchdowns to help put Mace up big in that game and showing off, kind of like I said, planting their flag, if you will, at the 1A ranks. They will be a fun team to watch for the next couple of years now. After you're not going to sneak up on many teams going forward.
No. In the 5A championship game, Sevier County, speaking of stunning, knocked off Page 27-20. Both these teams were undefeated coming into this game. Page outscoring their opponents by more than 470 points in their previous 14 games. Had allowed 31 points all year, gave up 27 on Friday night.
Tough break, and man, this is one that I feel bad about tooting my own horn, but I had a weird feeling about this game because Page just feels like, I don't know what it is. I don't know if the school is built on an eerie site of some sort. There's some weird juju with that program, and losing 4 straight, undefeated, maybe your best chance at the title yet, and you fall down 24-7. You battle back, but you run out of time, unable to get an onside kick late. That's a tough one for Page, but props to Sevier County on a big win.
Like you said, tough loss for the Patriots there. On Saturday, the early game, Macon County with almost the entirety of Lafayette in the stands at Finley Stadium. They knock off Melrose 45-14. Melrose got to the state championship game by defeating defending state champion Pearl Cone, but Melrose kind of ran out of time as well. Well, they didn't run out of time. Again, 45-14. And this Macon County dominated this thing, but they ran out of juice.
Yeah, nothing after the end of the first, but then Macon County scores 17 in the second quarter. Melrose, you wonder if they didn't use up a lot of their energy and emotional firepower by knocking off Pearl, who had just upset, Marshall County, previously undefeated in the quarterfinals. I mean, 4A is a loaded classification. Kind of unfortunate that the title game wasn't as compelling because that is a year in, year out battle. And props, though, to Macon County on getting the big win.
Absolutely. In 2A, Marion County with a 17-7 win over Milan. And the 6A championship game, a rematch from last year. Oakland reverses the tables with a 42-20 win over the Houston Mustangs, picking up their 3rd state championship victory in 4 state championship game appearances, their 5th championship in 7 years.
Crazy, right? Wild finish to the BlueCross Bowl, which was electric as usual. My only gripe, Bo, was I was trying to watch the game Saturday. This is right when all the big college football games are going on too. YouTube TV, the multi-view is going. I'm watching every game. They won't let you add the high school game, so I had to get a separate screen out to make sure I was watching those as well. But as we mentioned at the start of the show, 9 champions were crowned. All are worthy champions. We saw some great games. We saw some compelling theater from top to bottom. It was a great Thursday, Friday down in Chattanooga.
Absolutely. Let's take a break. When we come back, we'll talk a little bit more about that Nashville Christian Columbia Academy matchup and get you our final results from our predictions. Not great, but stay tuned.
Hello, I'm Rick Whitley.
And I'm Daniel Pollard from Jones & Lang Sporting Goods. We would like to take this opportunity to thank all of you for the many years of support. Since 1966, Jones & Lang has been locally owned and operated and supplying teams from T-ball to college. Stop by and see what we can do for you. We offer a wide variety of services from silk screening and embroidery to our custom trophy and awards department.
We're open Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, and Saturday, 9 to noon. Remember, Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Welcome to JHA Company, your trusted scholastic partner. We continue to serve schools with yearbooks, letter jackets, and graduation regalia. But now we offer so much more. Our school photography division offers high-quality images that capture the spirit and energy of your students and staff. Let us help build your identity, creating a cohesive look that represents your school's values and traditions. Our e-commerce solutions make it easy for schools to manage and sell their branded apparel online. Let's work together to make every school year unforgettable. Visit our website or contact us today to learn more. JHA Company, celebrating achievements, building identities, and creating memories.
Do you want to be a bad man? Yes, you do. Do you want to taste sweet salvation underneath the summer moon? Do you need another hand now? Yes, you do. Go see Miss Josie down on Columbus Avenue. All right, Columbus Avenue.
He shoots and he scores!
Welcome back to the Southern Middle Tennessee High School Football Show presented by 10 Pin Alley and the Tennessee Highway Safety Office. D2A, Nashville Christian and Columbia Academy. Again, that was a rematch from the regular season, specifically in week 8, when Nashville Christian came to Columbia and defeated the Bulldogs 45-7. This game was a bit more competitive than that game. Nashville Christian did get up 14-0 early on, but Columbia Academy battled back. They got a rushing touchdown from Harrison Brownlee out of the Wildcat, and then Brownlee caught an 11-yard pass right before halftime to get the thing tied up at 14-14. But unfortunately, CA was unable to really build on that momentum of those late scores, and Nashville Christian kind of unleashed Terry Ward, a junior running back who did not play in the regular season game. He was sitting out as a transfer from McGavock, rushed for 203 yards, most of those coming in the second half, including a 64-yard touchdown, and just kept the CA defense honest enough that Jared Curtis was able to really wreak some havoc in a way that really, I won't say only he can, but certainly taking advantage of his dual threat ability. I mean, he's a big kid at the quarterback position, ran for 3 short touchdowns in that second half and slung it around a little bit as well. And we talked about Alcoa moving up. Columbia Academy is moving up to Division II AA for next year, and I imagine they'll be glad to be done with Nashville Christian because Curtis and Ward are going to be a handful next year.
Yeah, that's the crazy part or the scary part, right, is those guys are coming back. And I mentioned this earlier in the week on a different program that Nashville Christian, it's a crazy thing to think about. Anybody can go out and have a good player or an elite player on a team, but you still have to build around that. And the fact that they have built around that and the fact they do have a quality program, it's not just Curtis. It is a lot of Curtis. But the fact that they've got other guys like Ward, especially kind of just waiting in the wings, going for 200 plus, that makes it really scary and really difficult. CA has nothing to hang their head about. Matter of fact, they battled back to your point, in that game, I think a lot more than a lot of other teams would. So kudos to the Bulldogs for getting back and kind of giving themselves a chance because, they may not have won it, but they certainly gave it their best effort down the stretch.
Seth Anderson talked about teams having windows, and with 11 seniors on this team, this was certainly a window for this program. And while they did not win the state championship, I think they maximized their window. Kudos to them and to those 11 seniors. And we will, again, talk a little bit more about where they will sit next year in terms of region play and that kind of thing later in the show. But tough game for them. But as you mentioned, nothing for them to hang their heads about. First state championship game appearance in the program's history, 10 wins, finished up 10-4. We're going to get into it here, and I guess, no, we'll get into it in the next segment. Never mind. But we've got final offensive stats from across the area, and there was something I was going to hit on, but we'll hang on to that. Right now, though, with that prediction, I whiffed. You got it right. So our final season prediction performance, I finished up 81-26 on the year. We'll take it. It could have been a lot worse because you abstained from a series of Giles County games that you were, double dipping on, both talking about them here and talking about them on the air. 77-20 for the season for you. Commendable effort. Again, I'll take it. It's not quite 80%, but it's not bad. So we know a little something.
Hey, sometimes you get a little lucky juice, right? And we had our runs where we were on some heaters. We had a couple weeks where we weren't so hot. I wish I had known that Summertown and Richland were going to be as good as they were earlier this season. I probably would have sniped a few extra wins there, but you get what you get.
Absolutely.
Entertainment purposes only.
Entertainment purposes only. Yeah, for sure. So let's take a break here on the Southern Middle Tennessee High School Football Show. When we come back, we'll talk about some final offensive stats and who's going to be where next year. Stay tuned.
Hello, I'm Rick Whitley.
And I'm Daniel Pollard from Jones & Lang Sporting Goods. We would like to take this opportunity to thank all of you for the many years of support. Since 1966, Jones & Lang has been locally owned and operated and supplying teams from T-ball to college. Stop by and see what we can do for you. We offer a wide variety of services from silk screening and embroidery to our custom trophy and awards department.
We're open Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, and Saturday, 9 to noon. Remember, Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Welcome to JHA Company, your trusted scholastic partner. We continue to serve schools with yearbooks, letter jackets, and graduation regalia. But now we offer so much more. Our school photography division offers high-quality images that capture the spirit and energy of your students and staff. Let us help build your identity, creating a cohesive look that represents your school's values and traditions. Our e-commerce solutions make it easy for schools to manage and sell their branded apparel online. Let's work together to make every school year unforgettable. Visit our website or contact us today to learn more. JHA Company, celebrating achievements, building identities, and creating memories.
Do you want to be a bad man? Yes, you do. Do you want to taste sweet salvation underneath the summer moon? Do you need another hand now? Yes, you do. Go see Miss Josie down on Columbus Avenue. All right, Columbus Avenue.
He shoots and he scores!
Hey, welcome back to the Southern Middle Tennessee High School Football Show presented by 10 Pin Alley Eat, Play, Party, and by the Tennessee Highway Safety Office. Fans don't let fans drive drunk. That's Wade Neely. I'm Maurice Patton. Now that everybody is done, let's take a look at our final individual offensive stat leaders. Let's start with our rushing leaders, where Monte Baldwin got it done all year, closed out his career with a 167-yard performance in the state championship game that put him over the 2,000-yard mark, firmly over the 2,000-yard mark for the season. 2,134 rushing yards on an even 300 carries, 23 touchdowns, did not get into the end zone in Chattanooga, and I would imagine for Seth Anderson, that might be, as he looks back, it's almost like Walter Payton not scoring in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I mean, to put up the numbers that he's put up all year, to have 37 carries, 170 yards on the ground, but not score, it is a little bit of a head scratcher. But man, what a season, what a career this guy's had.
Absolutely, he leads Columbia Academy as the single season and career rushing leader, well over 6,000 yards for his career over at CA. Obviously, he was the only rusher in our leaders to play this weekend, so nothing else below him really changed. But wanted to give you a look at those. Also, our passing leaders. Stephen Neves of Columbia Academy also goes over the 2,000-yard mark with his performance Thursday against Nashville Christian. Finishes the year with 2,060 passing yards, 25 touchdowns. Threw for a pair of touchdowns to Harrison Brownlee in Thursday's loss. And really coming behind Connor Rawson from last year at quarterback for Columbia Academy, Neves was a little bit of a godsend transferring in from Ravenwood. And again, his numbers pretty well reflect that. Completed more than 60% of his passes there as a eyeball that 131 of 215. Again, for 2,000 plus yards and kind of spread the ball around, as we will see when we get into our receiving leaders. But yeah, one of two 2,000-yard passers on the season in our area, along with a guy that we've talked about all season, Blaine Woodard from Richland, both seniors. Woodard throwing for 2,109 and 8 yards, and 19 touchdowns on the season. Great year for the Richland quarterback there.
He was fantastic all year. It was fun. Talk about a guy that kind of got dropped in, right? Richland didn't have plans for Woodard the last couple of years. They've been fortunate enough to have some stellar quarterback play, but Woodard just steps right in. And yeah, he's a senior, but he's an untested senior in many regards. And all he did was just go out and impress each and every single week. He fueled the Richland offense, and he gave them a lot of versatility, because when you thought you had their run game stopped, that's when he could make some plays throwing the ball downfield. He was a lot of fun to cover this year.
Again, Jake Sands, your leading receiver from Richland, the only area receiver with more than 1,000 receiving yards on the year, 1,086, 8 touchdowns on the year for the Raiders in 13 games. Brownlee, we mentioned, had a couple of touchdown catches in that championship game, finishes the year with 947 receiving yards and 11 touchdowns on the year. And tough receiver. Really did a lot of his damage after the catch, after contact. Big yak kind of guy Brownlee was, and a two-way performer for the Bulldogs as well. Also, Columbia Academy had 2 of the top 5 receivers in the area, as sophomore Wyatt Ayers added 607 receiving yards and 7 touchdowns, and he was kind of the deep ball threat for Columbia Academy. He caught one ball for 48 yards Thursday, so he's coming back, and he may be a receiver, but he may be a quarterback. He took some snaps in that game on Thursday, so it'll be interesting to see what this Columbia Academy team looks like next year from a personnel standpoint. Again, losing 11 seniors. So let's spin into the 2025 season for just a second, because last month the TSSAA Board of Control went through its reclassification process, setting regions for the next 2 years and setting districts in other sports. But obviously, we are the Southern Middle Tennessee High School football show. So we are concerned with football stuff. And with that in mind, the football Region 5 1A for next year that Richland will be involved in, that was a 7-team region previously, right? Who did they lose?
They lost Wayne County.
Okay.
I believe that's it.
No, well, Collinwood, they would have lost.
Collinwood as well, correct.
Yeah,
Yep.
Okay. So yeah, they are now a 6-team region along with Cornersville, Eagleville, Fayetteville, Huntland, and Moore County. So this is basically the same region that they played in the last 2 years, just a couple of teams that have been subtracted from that grouping. So
and Fayetteville dropping down, which I don't want to.
That's right.
I don't want to scare the other folks in Region 5 1A. But the last time they were a 1A team, they won the state championship. So let's just be on alert if you're a Richland Raider fan or a fan of some of these other teams, Eagleville, Cornersville, etc., because they will be. They had a down year, but Fayetteville should bounce back, especially playing in single A. You would think.
Yeah. Folks will appreciate that warning from you, Mr. Neely. In 5-2A, we had a couple of changes as well. Loretto, Mount Pleasant, Lewis County, and Summertown stay together, but you lose Hickman County, East Hickman, and Harpeth. Oh, and Waverly. Waverly was all. You had an 8-team region. You are now a 7-team region because those 4 teams are gone. In their place are Adamsville, Decatur County, Riverside, and Scotts Hill, all west of the Tennessee River. So road games got a little longer for the holdovers in 5-2A. So there's something to look forward to.
Yeah, get some new blood in there. Adamsville is a team that has made the playoffs a couple seasons at the 1A level. They'll try and do so. We know, obviously, the Riverside is a dangerous team. Got a feeling that Lewis County probably will be improved. And Loretto is always dangerous. Mount Pleasant always dangerous. Curious to see what happens with Summertown. And you got newcomer Scotts Hill in there as well. So should be a fun Region 5-2A going forward.
Scheduling got a little bit easier for David O'Connor and the Bobcats of Giles County as they picked up a couple of teams this year. In addition to Cascade Community and Sequatchie County, and Watertown, they also added Forest. They are now a 6-team region this year.
Yep. Pick up Cascade, pick up Forest, and lose Grundy County.
Okay, there we go.
But by picking up those two, that definitely helps with the scheduling, to your point. Watertown is going to be improved, I think, going forward. Sequatchie County, they suffered the wrath of Alcoa in the semifinals this year that Giles County had previously been subjected to. That's going to be another fun region going forward. The games are a little closer in the sense you don't get to go to Colmont, which is always an exciting trip. But you do get Community, Cascade, and Forest still in there. So GCHS, the scheduling does get easier.
Real quick, Region 5-4A, Battle Creek, Creekwood, Marshall County, Montgomery Central, and Spring Hill. Battle Creek and Spring Hill, instant rivalry there. Region 4-5A, and this is significant for Columbia Central, Franklin County, Lawrence County, Lincoln County, and Tullahoma, because they'll be playing east in the postseason bracket instead of going west as they typically have.
No Melrose revenge for those guys this year.
Exactly. Yeah. In Region 6-6A, the Williamson County schools lose Overton but pick up Coffee County and Shelbyville. So that's going to be interesting. That'll be a little bit new for both the Williamson County schools and for Coffee County and Shelbyville. And finally, in the Division 2A middle region, D2AA middle region, again, Columbia Academy goes up. Grace Christian of Franklin also goes up to meet 2024 state finalist Battleground Academy, as well as Davidson Academy, Franklin Road Academy, Good Pasture, and Pope John Paul II. So, get used to some new matchups here for this coming season, and we'll see if we're around to guide you through it. Again, this is the Southern Middle Tennessee High School Football Show, signing off for the 2024 season. We are brought to you again by the Tennessee Highway Safety Office, Fans Don't Let Fans Drive Drunk, and by 10 Pin Alley, Eat, Play, Party. That's Wade Neely. I'm Maurice Patton. Hope y'all enjoyed us, and we'll see you soon.
This is the Southern Middle Tennessee High School Football Show with your hosts, Maurice Patton and Wade Neely. Proudly presented each week by our friends at the Tennessee Highway Safety Office. Fans, don't let fans drive drunk.